In the occasion of the opening of Turkey-Africa Economic and Business Forum, we have gathered, and I am pleased to be with you. I would like to wholeheartedly congratulate the Ministry of Trade for having organized this forum, this conference, and I hope that it will be auspicious for our bilateral relations. With the Secretariat of African Union and Foreign Economic Relations Board cooperation, this program has been possible, and I would like to thank both organizations for their great efforts. The humanity is indeed going through a very challenging period. For a long time, scarcity, hunger, and instability are the things that the whole world is challenged with. And now we are fighting against coronavirus. So far, this pandemic has caused the death of more than 1 million people, and it is one of the biggest health crises of the world history. Even before the wounds of the 2008 crisis were healed, the COVID-19 pandemic has now dragged the whole world into uncertainties. And therefore, we can see that the burden on especially the shoulders of our African brothers and sisters is becoming heavier and heavier. The global trade and human movements and many other issues lead to a lot of loss in the continent. And even the Western developed countries are in wars of masks, and the African countries, unfortunately, have now been left to their own fate. And the COVID-19 pandemic has shown the irregularities in the world and made the inequalities related with the system deeper. So far, about 1.5 million African friends have been infected by the virus, and we are deeply saddened because of that. As the President of the Republic of Turkey, on behalf of my nation and personally, I would like to extend my condolences. The World Health Organization's most recent reports show that across the continent there is a decrease in the number of new reported cases and the death toll overall. And this has been ongoing for 7 consecutive weeks, and this is, of course, pleasing for us at least to see. But these times are the times we are tested in terms of our friendship. In our culture, true friendship is described as follows. A good friend always attends to your needs during bad times, even if you do not call them. Therefore, during the coronavirus pandemic, during this outbreak, we have always lent support to our brothers and sisters across the world. The International Development Network of G7 as initiative to defer the deaths was supported. We have never discriminated among people regardless of their religions, ethnicities, roots, or whatnot. And we have also responded to the calls for assistance by 8 organizations, international organizations in the world. And there are 46 African countries which we have supported, among other many countries we supported in the world. PPE, overalls, masks, and ventilators are some of the supplies we have provided, and we are happy to see that. Turkey, with its strong infrastructure, high-quality healthcare services, and encompassing security systems and effective treatment protocols, has been very much effective in containing the further spread of the virus. And so far we have brought 14 new hospitals to operation and many additional buildings and complexes built for better healthcare services. And Turkey is a rising star in the field of health across the world. From the African continents, every year thousands of brothers come and visit Turkey to find a cure for their challenges. The technical support, medical supply, trade, and health tourism are some of the dimensions on which we can further build relations and improve our relations. Therefore, the Turkey-Africa healthcare platform, I believe, will give a chance for lasting cooperation in the region. We are ready to support any kind of step to be taken forward in this regard. Distinguished friends, while fighting against the pandemic, we should not neglect the socio-economic realities. To continue with the economic and trade related issues, we have to be very careful, and it is of vital importance to also keep the control on the spread of the virus. The difficulties that might emerge in the supply chain will reflect on global peace and personal relations. And Turkey, in line with our priorities, has come up with well-balanced policies. We have not allowed the economic life to come to a stop or a halt, and we also encouraged our businesses, enterprises to continue with their operations. Turkish companies within the country and outside the country have exhibited a very noteworthy performance, and the companies operating in Africa also during the pandemic have continued with their activities, and also in line with normalization programs, many companies have speeded up their operations, and Turkish Airlines flies to many destinations, and in 27 African countries it has resumed with its flights to 33 destinations in Africa. From energy to food, from other industrial products and fields, we have seen many companies operating, and the total worth of the Turkish companies operating in Africa now stands almost at a figure of $70 billion. And our companies are operating in African continent to address the infrastructure and superstructure challenges of the continent, and they assume very much critical roles. Turkish companies also are engaged in technology transfer, sharing of know-how, investments in capacity building, and many joint initiatives, and they play a crucial role. They contribute to the domestic, to the local production and employment, and our companies are the companies that contribute the most. And the Turkish investors meet many needs of the continent, and they have not fallen to the pit of importing employees from other continents. Rather, thanks to the work of Turkish investors, many local people in Africa have now had the chance for employment. And our companies exhibited exemplary ethical behaviors, contributed uniquely to the production in the country, and they also explain, our representatives, our investors explain how happy they are about the local labor there, and they praise the contribution lent to them in the continent. In particular, our contractors are very well known in the continent. Our contractors have always finished the work they have started, even though some other foreign contractors have not and left halfway in the middle. But our Turkish contractors completed even their work. Dakar Bilez Diyar International Airport, which has recently been completed in its construction, is the best example to give for that. A foreign company left the project unfinished, even though it took them 8 years. But the Turkish contractors completed the project and opened it for service. And this airport is one of the most modern airports of the African continent. Other than construction, of course, infrastructure, housing, energy are some key points for further improvement and development in the continent. When it comes to the manufacturing, the production sector, we believe that the continent is very much supported by our country, and it is a field about which our country is strong. In terms of building gay communities and dwelling houses, we are very strong, and we have constructed 910,000 new homes, if you will, for people in the continent through Turkey. And we have made history. Over the past 10 years, we have undertaken many activities, and we have reduced the foreign or external source dependency of our country. And the number of the companies operating in the field of defense increased much, and the turnover has increased up to $11 billion. The share of Turkish defense companies is increasing, and our say is becoming stronger. Among the top 100 defense companies of the world, we have 7. In terms of drone production, unmanned aerial vehicles, we are among the top 3 countries of the world. In all these areas, we believe we can further improve and deepen our relations. Distinguished participants, one of the biggest states figures of Africa, Nelson Mandela, went through a very challenging path that led him to freedom. He said, what the human beings will find after going over a big hill is another big hill which will come their way. This goes the same for our political lives, business life, economic life, and also in terms of international relations. In 2003, we started the African expansion and took the first steps forward, but we were criticized by some from the country and from outside the country. Despite the fact that we have a common history of more than 1,000 years, Turkey and Africa unfortunately used to stand afar from one another because there were many artificial barriers in between the two parties, and bias took over. We started first by tackling that bias, the prejudice, and established bridges of hearts in between Africa and Turkey to understand our potential more, to explore our potential more and more. We cooperated. And also we have never considered the continent as only a market for Turkish products. We acted on a win-win and equal partnership basis and always struggled to further improve our cooperation. Throughout this process, many think tanks, NGOs, universities, or many figures and businessmen who knew the continent helped us tremendously. And thank God, after all these years, many hills have now been left behind, and we have overcome many challenges. And the number of the embassies increased from 12 to 42, and the representative organizations of trade also increased up to 26. And also the number of general consulates increased. TİKA and Yunus Emre Foundation, Marif Foundation, Anadolu Agency, and Turkish Airlines, like bodies and authorities made our presence in the continent more notable. And in 2010 and in 2014, in Malabo, we organized a Turkey-Africa partnership summit for 2 times. And during my presidency term, and also as I was serving as the Prime Minister of the country, I visited the African continent many times. And I visited Somalia in 2012 with my wife, and I was the first leader visiting the country. And we also signed many free trade agreements, and with 30 continents we have signed deals to further protect and encourage mutual trade. With 13 countries, we signed agreements for double taxation, and also many trade agreements, free trade agreements. In 2013, we increased our trade volume from 5.4 billion up to 26.2 billion in 2019. The export to the continent from our country in 2013 was only 2.1 billion, but as of 2019 it has exceeded the figure of $16.6 billion. And the negative impacts of the pandemic, of course, should not slow us down and take away the momentum we have achieved. And our trade volume has our trade volume stands at a figure of 26.2 billion, and we should increase this figure up to 50 billion. Distinguished brothers and sisters, despite all the historic success we have obtained so far, the current position we have is still insufficient. We are struggling to achieve what's better, what's more efficient and productive for us all. And I would like to clearly express one reality here once again. Turkey has historical ties with Africa for over 1,000 years, and we are sharing the same destiny. We have a brotherhood, solidarity, cooperation in our relations, in our sincere relations with Africa. We are not chasing after momentary interests. We want to achieve, succeed together, and cover road together. There are some who want to continue with their old colonial acts, and Turkey has no stain of colonialism in its history, and we always reject the conceitful and arrogant perspective and approach on the continent. And Turkey is a great country and is a teacher, and Africa is a great teacher, and we believe that the whole humanity and the whole world has a lot of lessons to learn from Mama Africa, the African continent. And of course we benefit from all the knowledge of our brothers and sisters from Africa as we march on our path. And in the following periods we will be organizing the third Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit, which will bring about many opportunities for us to seize. And using this opportunity, I would like to state that we will be honored to host the commissioners of the African Union and the leaders of the African continent in our country. Before I conclude, I would like to address another recent subject I believe you all follow. Due to the attacks by Armenia against Azerbaijan in the Upper Karabakh region, there are hot clashes ongoing, and the Nagorno-Karabakh for over 30 years has been occupied by Armenia, and it is an Azerbaijani territory. Despite the United Nations and Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe's calls and resolutions, Armenia has not withdrawn from the region, and the Minsk group has never shown a concrete will for the resolution of the dispute. Due to lack of reconciliation and also spoiled behaviors by Armenia, this matter has become a big wound, and we have to find a solution. And the recommendations, the proposals to find a solution on the ground is now not possible, but we see that Azerbaijan is also very determined to defend its rights and territories, and Turkey will always stand with and support Azerbaijan's righteous cause to take its occupied territories back. And we make a call to all those who have a conscience of equity to support Azerbaijan. And our Azerbaijani brothers and sisters have always reacted against oppression, including the Palestinian issue. And to liberate the Nagorno-Karabakh territories from occupation, I believe it will be standing with Azerbaijan. As I conclude, I once again hope that Turkey Africa Economic and Business Forum will be auspicious for both parties, and I would like to thank to all the institutions for having us come together, even virtually. And I wish you best and the most of success. And I would like to share and send my greetings and also messages of friendship and alliance from Istanbul, and share my love and respect from Anatolia. I greet you all with a great respect and best regards. Thank you very much. Stay in health.
Devletlerine çok teşekkür ediyoruz efendim. Türkiye-Afrika Ekonomi ve İş Forumu açılışı burada sona eriyor. Arz ederim.
Teşekkür edemedik.